What is going on? What's up, everybody? This is Real Time with Dr. Prince Blue. I am your host, Dr. Prince Blue, and we got another yearbook episode, everybody. But this time, we actually have somebody from the class of 2000, my class of 2000, stepped up, and we're going to have a fun with this one. Today, we have Tomas Malave. For those who went to WWPHS, the only high school that counts in West Windsor Plainsboro High School. He went by TJ, and he was a big-time athlete, always talking to everybody, always doing the right thing. And now he's coaching. He's a father. He's a mentor. He's a husband. He's done it all. He's doing it all. And we're going to catch up with him and talk about that, all that and more on an episode of Real Time with Dr. Prince Blue, the yearbook series.
Real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, Prince Blue. Real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, Prince Blue. Talk that, talk that, talk that, coach, coach, talk that, talk that, talk that, coach, talking entertainment too. Look, we are not the same as you. Look, we don't need a thing, just you. Just making sure the gang come through.
Well, I'm just gonna say it right now. You're probably not going to have a more handsome episode than this one right here, because we got Salt and Pepper over here. You got me, you know, I'm still dark, bald, and handsome. But we got my man, Tomas Malave, a.k.a. TJ, from the class of 2000, West Windsor Plainsboro High School South, because we don't count the North over here. What's up, TJ?
Hey, bless, bro. Doctor, once again, it's a pleasure to be on with you. Appreciate what you're doing out here, and it's wonderful to see you doing your thing, man. It's beautiful to catch up with everybody after all these years.
Yeah, and like, you know, I appreciate you stepping up, and because, you know, the class of 2000, you know, y'all ain't stepping up like I thought y'all would, but I got some more coming down the pike. But today is all about you and what you've been doing, man. Like I said, you know, we was talking a little bit offline, and it's been 26 years. So the reason why I say that is because I make all my guests give me a bio, and I read that bio because 26 years is a long time, you know, to get caught up. So let me read the accomplishments of my esteemed guests right now. Okay, we're talking about Tomas is a 2000 graduate of the West Windsor Plainsboro High School and a 2005 graduate of Rowan University in New Jersey, by the way, where he earned a degree in political science and was a member of the Honor Society. At the college, Tomas worked in the American Friends Service Committee, civil rights organization in Philadelphia, before moving into data center management with IBM from 2008 to 2012. In 2009, he founded, didn't go to work for nobody. He founded, that means he owns it. Founded Safe Vents, specializing in indoor air quality, air duct cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning. Today, he continues to serve his community through both business ownership and youth athletics. Tomas is married to Lauren Krause Malave and is the proud father of Ariana Malave. He is also a dedicated coach and community leader who has worked with organizations including Path Academy, Ewing Force, and Princeton Recreation, helping mentor young athletes across multiple sports and age groups. That's a lot, man.
Busybody, bro. Busybody.
And you look busy. You look busy because every time I see you on Facebook, you're either pointing at an athlete, telling them to do something or run the right route or do something, or you're talking down the business. So let's start here, TJ. I'm going to bring something up, and then you probably didn't expect this, but when you see that picture, what comes to mind when you see that picture?
Bro, the very first thing that comes to mind anytime I see that picture is the 90s tie my dad gave me for that photo. You will never find a tie like that in the modern age. It was all those geometrical shapes. The other thing I think of is like if I could have a sit down conversation with that young man right now, I wouldn't change a thing, but I would just give him a heads up on a couple things just to make sure that we know what we're doing when we get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm big on. I love where I'm at. Just like anybody else in life, you got your ups, your downs, and all those different things. But like I said, I wouldn't. If I had to snap to bring us back like in Marvel, I wouldn't change nothing. I've enjoyed my ride and I've been blessed by all my successes and the things I had to learn from. That's what got me to where I am today. So, I take it in stride.
You know what I remember when I see this picture? You, me, and Grundy playing PlayStation at Grundy's crib. And Grundy getting mad because we giving him the business because I'm picking the Eagles, he's picking the Steelers. And I think you were...
I'm a Giant fan.
You were a Giants fan.
G fan.
How can I forget that? Yeah. And I remember we used to always pick our own teams and we used to go at each other for hours playing PlayStation at Grundy's crib. That's what I remember about you, TJ. It was like you were always the dude that like it wasn't like you didn't have a clique. So it was like whether you was playing video games with me, playing videos with Grundy, talking to Dave, talking to Kyle. It was like everybody, like you was just, it was TJ. Because how sometimes in high school it could get cliquish.
Yeah. And
they like, nah, TJ, he don't really mess with nobody like that unless you in his crew. But nah, you like, it was all good. And that's what I remember about you in high school was that, it was never too big because remember, you was varsity. You played football. You was in the papers. You was getting rid. You was doing things. Your stats was in the paper, but you never let that get in the way of you just being an overall good dude. That's what I remember when I see this picture.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man. I remember when I was very young. I must have been maybe 4 or 5 years old, and we went to this church. And this is before I moved to Jersey. This is like when I was living in Maryland, and I was going to get my pen to be like in the Royal Rangers or something. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's like that you're moving forward. And it was like recite the golden rule, and I was like, do unto others as they would have them do unto you. And like I like that stuck with me from that moment. So like I've never, I was never big on bullies. If I saw somebody getting bullied, I'd step in for them. You know what I'm saying? We were in Plainsboro, but then played a lot of sports with the West Windsor kids, and we ended up going to the same school together. So I was never really a beef person. You know what I'm saying? It was like if we can chill, we can chill. If you got, and even to today, it's even like, all right, if I have to deal with you in a certain way, I'm gonna have to deal with you, but you're only gonna get a certain amount of my energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm real big on protecting your energy.
Yeah.
And the more nonsense that you try to put out or try to retaliate with, it just kind of drags you down. So I've always been big on just trying to be cool as possible with people, and no matter where you're from, if you're a cool person, I'm cool with you. And it's always been easier to be that way rather than being difficult.
It takes too much energy to be difficult because, listen, in 2000, we always considered ourselves the cream of the crop because number one, in 1999, it was 2000. Right, we were the turn of the decade, like the new millennium, like all that stuff. We was the class of 2000. We were the next group of people, like when the 70s went to the 80s went to the 90s, and then to go into 2000, it was about us. And we were pretty tight that way because we went through the Y2K crap, all that stuff that was like end of the world, doom and gloom, like the hip hop changing, like sports media changing, like how high schools looked. Because you came from Maryland, like I was talking to on episode last week. I came from Trenton, New Jersey schools. So the only time I saw anything like an open campus in a school like that was when I was watching Saved by the Bell or when I was watching a sitcom. Like, what do you mean open? There's no doors. There's no like what? Why are teachers so nice? Like, why are teachers happy to be here? I grew up where teachers was like, I'm gonna get paid whether you learn or not. So when I got to West Windsor Plainsboro High School, it was a huge culture shock. And then I'm meeting people like you, from a diverse background and wasn't afraid to, represent your roots and stuff like that. It was like different. It was different. I don't know how that was for you coming from Maryland, but how was it for you?
Yeah. So when I first came up from Maryland, it was like kind of like a sudden move. We hadn't necessarily planned on moving; it just kind of just happened. And I just kind of got into I was in my little kid phase. So the first thing I'm doing is trying to find new friends, trying to find somebody who had a football in their hand, a basketball in their hand, see if we can compete, play some video games. Much of the way that we hung out when 6th and 7th grade, very, very similar way. I want to say like I was eager to make friends or whatnot because I'm an only child to an extent. I have a brother and a sister, but I was raised by myself, so I can perfectly be fine in my own space.
Me. Yep.
I don't have to force myself into any kind of group.
Yeah.
But I always loved to be around and going out. How we used to do out Morris Davidson, everybody out there playing basketball, playing football.
That's it.
Baseball, whatever we doing, tag, whatever, manhunt at nighttime. So just like getting out there to to do that. And Maryland as a in cross reference to Jersey wasn't really for me like super different because most of where I grew up in Maryland, everybody's really nice. You know what I'm saying? Like Maryland, I guess it's kind of like the top of the South or whatnot, or the bottom of the North. It's like one of them tweener
before
states,
you get
like,
there. It's right in between. Yeah.
And then I had half my family's from Georgia in the country, and the other half was from Puerto Rico, and everybody was in the Bronx. So I was either like in the country or I was in the city, like what I'm saying. So I had a good balance growing up of all those different influences. So I was really it made it easier for me to kind of fit in when I needed to, depending on who's, especially with the energy of people. Like if you have like that fast city energy, that slick talking, okay, I get down with that. Okay, if you want to do more of the slower country vibe, I'm totally cool with that. We can go fishing, we can go.
Yeah, it can be anything.
Space, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to be versatile, but that's kind of why it's probably easier for me to fit in with more people than normal because I wasn't shell shocked by how somebody might approach me.
Oh yeah, I was shell shocked as hell. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I was shell shocked as hell. But the one thing that got me out of my comfort zone was surprisingly how how much of an undercurrent sports were in West Windsor Plainsboro. Like you said, we was either playing something, and I was good at nothing. Newsflash, I was not an athlete. But remember, we're at Morris Davidson Park. I'm on your team. I'm on Mickey's team. I'm on somebody's team. You bet. Just do something. Just run around. Do something.
That's the Morris Davidson legend.
Mickey, he used to dunk and take a silver dollar off the backboard, all that crap. See, I'm telling you,
backboard. Remember how
you just remember this stuff, and I remember just seeing him. Like, man, he has the ankles of a gazelle, but he's jumping out of the gym. And that was the thing. We played football, we played basketball, whatever it was, we was going to come together, and it was normally going to be because of sports. And that was the best thing about it. And again, at West Windsor Plainsboro, when I go from a predominantly Black area to now, I'm playing with Indian kids, I'm playing with Hispanic kids, I'm playing with Asian kids. Like it's like, okay, it's like, no, we don't have to be separate because sports is the great equalizer. Right. So let me get young you off the screen and let's now talk about 2000. we graduate, right? We shake hands, we do the hug. I'm like, TJ, yearbook, sign, all that good stuff. Like, good luck in your future endeavors. Talk to me after 2000. Like, where was TJ headed?
So after we graduated, I was just training all summer, trying to get ready for college football down at Rowan University. Initially, before I made the final decision to go down the Rowan, I was looking at South Carolina State, Florida A&M. Like I had a few HBCUs on the list that I was really interested in and heading to, and then I was recruited down to Rowan, and I was like, you know what, Rowan is like one of the top D3 programs in the country. They have NFL scouts here. It's about an hour and change from home. So if I need to pop back home or something, then I can. And I really like the school. Ended up heading over to Rowan University. Got slowed down playing ball. I had that rotator cuff injury during training camp as a freshman. Then I was trying to heal back from that. And the following spring, I kind of jacked my knee up a little bit. And then that was kind of like the end of that part of my football. And because at that point, when I hurt my knee, it was a meniscus and something else that I had going on in there, which now would be like a 2-week injury with today's technology.
You'll be right back.
Oh, you got to get surgery. You're going to be on crutches for a couple of months. And I'm like, I'm not crutching around campus. You know what I mean? By that time, it was like, of course, everybody wants to go to the NFL, but I was already more structured in my mind for starting businesses and just kind of figuring out college and starting to get into more organizations. And that ended up in my at the second half of my freshman year, pledging Kappa Alpha Psi, and then I started doing all types of stuff with Greek letter organizations and kind of moving forward from there and building up that part of my experience or whatnot, which was really valuable because I really took college, at that level, being president of different organizations, and then eventually the entire Greek IGC, which was its own craziness or whatnot. You have all of the Greek letter organizations, and there's a little difference between like a MPHC organization and and some of the other ones that you might see that are more like Animal House on TV. So sitting in some meetings some days, I'd be like, why did I decide to do this? I could be playing Madden right now or like
nope. Had bigger plans, man. And you were a political science major, correct?
Yes.
How'd you decide on that?
So initially when I first went to go to college, I wanted to be a corporate lawyer.
Okay.
And I realized that there were a lot of, because I had a political science major and law and justice minor when I first went. And then I ended up doing some, after my freshman year, I did for American Reinsurance, I had a summer internship with a couple of our classmates. It was really cool. And then I think it was the next year after 9/11 when I went back, and they were laying off all these people because they were a reinsurance company. So they got hit heavy when the buildings went down. Rest in peace to all those people on that day. It was crazy. And then I just saw the corporate trap in real time. So I'm like, wait a minute, these people, and I'm 19 years old or whatever, however we were at that time. And I'm like, you know what? Whereas we've been taught, like, go get a job, work for a corporation, get good benefits, there's job security, all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting in HR interning and running stuff up and down to the lawyers. And it's like, okay, now I'm doing severance packages. Now people are walking into the building and their badge don't work. And even at 19, wow. I'm like, they probably have rent due in a couple of weeks. They probably have children at home. And like, even with the severance, hopefully they got a severance because everybody don't get the same golden parachute as, the higher ups.
That's for damn sure.
And I'm like, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, it might take at least 2 weeks to find a job. And these are the things that are going through my mind. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm probably not going to be gearing too much towards corporations or whatnot. And that's when I really kind of started getting my feet wet running with my own little businesses in school, and doing that type of stuff. And then my focus kind of shifted away from going into corporate law to doing more civil rights work with my political science degree. So that's kind of like how I ended up in that direction.
Now, you in my wheelhouse now when you talk about political science and you talk about civil rights, because that's one of the things, being a retired military and retired police, that's all I focused on. And then when I went to get my doctorate, I I just wanted to stay in criminal justice because I feel like that's where we need the most help and the most people that want to get things done, not just talk and scream on a platform and just show up when the cameras, but do the groundwork, do the
Right.
stuff behind the scenes. And I just found that commendable that you worked for a civil rights organization, because let's just be honest, TJ, and you could disagree or not, but the civil rights of today is nothing like the civil rights you and our parents had to deal with. Like today, a civil rights leader has a net worth of 40-50 million dollars and
Right.
travel with bodyguards and all that stuff. Back in the day, the civil rights leaders, they will work full time and then go to a rally.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What they said would put literally their life and their career really on the line, versus today, you could say something crazy, it'll get retweeted to go viral, but yet you can go back to your $2-3 million mansion and it really doesn't matter. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Your civil rights work, and talk about it then, and talk about how you weave in and out of it now with the things that the many hats you wear now.
Yeah, of course. So I was fortunate enough when I graduated that one of my frat brothers was actually working at the American Friends Service Committee. So that's right down in the Quaker organization right down in Center City, Philadelphia.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, this is cool. I get to go out there and learn. So I went out there, started doing office work, and it kind of comprised of like everything from setting up rallies to attending events. I was everywhere from going to San Francisco to New England, wherever they wanted to kind of fly me out there. Sitting in think tanks, helping to organize. I really wanted to get my feet wet and like my hands dirty, because like you said, it's one thing to post from the side. You know what I'm saying? You could throw something, have a sign up that you take down, put a bumper sticker on your car, and all those things matter. Not like, again, I'm not taking away from any of those types of things. Whatever your version of protest or your version of that is that you feel comfortable with, more power to it. I'd rather have you a little bit of something than a whole lot of nothing. You know what I mean? But I've always been more of like the dive in type person. And then again, that was us coming out of the Bush era, Iraq war time. What was that? Just all of the nonsense that was going on with that. And now that looks tame compared.
Yes. Much simpler times back then, when we just worried about two towers falling and the crack epidemic and, the 90s oil pool and all that stuff. Yeah. Fun times.
Right. And then to, kind of how it translates to now, that's part of what I do. I did a lot of that type of work, and then I was coaching on and off for a bunch of years. So I've coached at a bunch of high schools, semi-pro, different levels. And then that's the whole reason I started the PATH Academy. So PATH stands for Performance Attitude, Techniques, and Habits.
Okay.
And my original focus was young men 17 to 25, because you're not a kid, but you're not exactly an experienced adult yet. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I would have like open flag football, open runs, open basketball, all that kind of stuff to kind of get the young guys in, meeting each other, competing, having a good time, get them all into like a Facebook group or whatnot. And then we'll have open conversations. Then it's, other things like help you get a license. Okay, you're not going to school. Maybe college wasn't for you because, again, when we were younger, they're like, go to college, go to Bud, this and the third. And it's not the same path for everybody. I always tell people 2 + 2 is 4. So is 10 - 6. So is 100 - 96. You can get to where you want to go. It might not be the exact way or the shortest distance, but you just have to have a plan that's going to get you there. So, again, over those years, helping guys get to jobs, we're having the conversation. You're a young father. You need somebody to talk to. And then I wear the title of coach. Like, I'm sure people wear doctor or wear minister or wear, that type of thing, because I am a surrogate dad. I'm a surrogate uncle. I'm a surrogate big bro. I'm a
not unk status. You got unk status?
Yeah, I do now. Like I told you before we was offline, that gray hair came in at 30. So I had that gray hair check before. But Like there are things, that they will talk to you about to your as a coach that they won't talk to their mother or their father or anybody in their family about. And and as the years kind of progressed and things got even deeper and deeper, now it's like, okay, watching them, my greatest joy is watching these kids or young men and women like get it, or
Yeah.
you struggle through it and then you get it and then turn around and reach back to get the next one, to help me pull up the next one. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's really all about. And again, it's like, again, not everything isn't perfect all the time. I wish we had more funding for stuff sometimes. Sometimes they get away. Sometimes you do your best and they have a drug overdose, or they have a situation where they get locked back up and they have to go back through that life lesson again. And you can't, that's the hardest part, is like you can't help everybody.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
yeah, that's the hard part even now as a professor, because somebody will come to me and they'll be like, hey, I didn't know that this was due, can you open it back up? And the person in me, not Dr. Blue, is like, yeah, what's the problem? But then the doctor, the academia side of me is saying, hey, like, what about this mother of 4 over here that had the same amount of time as you and she got it done?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to start thinking things is negotiable. Because the one thing about in the criminal justice field, I tell my students all the time is, I'm teaching you to be professional, because you're going to go out here, you're going to be lawyers, you're going to be police officers, you're going to be correction officers, and guess what? Nobody wants to hear your excuses. You not doing something means somebody can go to jail, somebody can die.
Yeah.
So if I let you slide, talking about you didn't know this was a due date, so you didn't know you had to write this report, and now this person is locked up for an extra 48 hours because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Now you see that stuff starting to build. So I get where you're coming from, TJ, when you want to help everybody, but at a certain point, you're like, you have to want it more than me. I can never want it more than you, because I'm already here. You're already there. I'm trying to get you to where you want to be. So it's your dream. You have to want it more than me.
Right. And I always tell them, I'm like, I'm willing to meet you right here, but I'm not going over there and picking you up and carrying you over here. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a whole life beyond this, and I got another 30, 40, 50 kids at any given time.
Yeah.
That may or may not need, attention, and or they're doing something great that we have to celebrate, or, and again, the accountability is what is the life lesson that 17 to 25 window I was trying to target kind of really with it. Because again, you're old enough to get locked up for real, but you still have like that high school mentality, or you still have that I'm undefeated, or I'm indestructible, or I can go call my parents. And it's like, you have passed that stage. You are now at a new stage where you need a license, you need a bank account, you need a cell phone.
And back then, the first thing you mentioned was getting people IDs, which we're struggling with now in 2026. We still have grown men walking around with no identification on them.
Right.
None. And I'm gonna tell you, as a police officer, guess what? You are a legit ID away from getting somebody else's warrant or being in a pine box if you're mistaken for somebody else. I'm just telling you, get your IDs. I didn't say driver's license. I said ID, something that identifies you to be who you are. It's not hard, people. Like, do what you got to do. Pay your lawyers, pay your fee, or whatever you got to do. Get you a real ID.
Right. And what's crazy about that type of stuff is that it seems so trivial. It seems so like matter of fact and obvious, but it's like, once you really dig in, and I'm sure you've had the same kind of experience. A lot of the time, nobody was there to tell them that.
Nope.
Nobody was in the house that was stressing that. If somebody was in the house at all, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe, and the opposite side of that is some of my mentees, that are really trying to more of the self. They're responsible because they were forced to be grown at a young age, but they never really got to experience figuring themselves out.
Right.
So like that's a whole other type of thing where the sports, and because again the guy guys and women end up coming together with the sports, but then they're hanging out and going to the movies together, or they're taking trips together, and like that's the whole purpose is community and togetherness. People of different backgrounds, different political affiliations, different things. We can find a common thing that's a through line. And I always found in my heart that you can always find that just about with anybody. I mean, obviously there are the outliers. Where it's like, you know what? You got that. You know what I'm saying? But by and large, that's the work. That's the hard work to try to find it.
Yeah. So, we already know that you mentor a lot of kids. You're a surrogate, but let's talk about your actual dad, biological, something that comes from your loins. Let's talk about TJ the father and TJ the husband. First of all, for those who don't know, this one I'm gonna give you your props because you're married to somebody who's close to somebody I love dear and near. Aaron, if you're out there, love you, bro. We gonna catch up. Aaron Krause, you married Lauren Krause. Now, for those who don't know, if you wasn't at WWPHS, you have, how can I explain it? Like, in certain movies where you got the students, you got the nerds, you got the jocks, and then you got the girls that like, it's like you got the little nerd that's like, man, I'm gonna marry her one day. And they like, man, you tripping, man. She ain't never know you alive. That's who he married. I can't put it no better than that. That's who he married. So I'm proud of you, first of all. Well, good for you. So talk about being a father and a husband. How did that all come together?
Yeah, so what's funny about that is, like, again, I moved to West Windsor in 4th grade, right? One of the first things I did was sign up for football. So I've known Aaron and Mr. Krause and Adrian and
shout out to
everybody
Mr.
else
Krause
since I was like, in 5th, 6th grade. Like my first introduction to Aaron was we had to go 1v1s and he put his shoulder pad into my chest and I was like, okay,
he's such an ass.
We can do this. Maybe created one of the best Pop Warner teams of all time, mind you. Like
shout out,
we was there, but it was good times. But what's funny about it is, and again, through high school, we went over there a couple of times for senior dinner, all that kind of stuff. But I never paid my friend's sisters any mind at all. Plus, Lauren's a couple years older than us, so
that's a slight flex.
Yeah,
that's a flex.
Like,
that's a flex.
So what's funny is a few years later, I want to say after I got out of college, I saw, Lauren Krause on Facebook. And I was like, hey, are you Aaron's sister? Because again, we had never really spoken before that or whatnot. And she hit me back. She was like, you know who I am. I was like, oh, okay. Let's have this. as to your point, like, you know what I'm saying? Or whatnot. Then we started dating for a little while. And at that point, I had my daughter already, and we just kind of became closer. At first, it was like the regular friendship that you have when you're first starting out, and we spent more time together, and then ended up getting married. And again, there was a lot of familiarity there because I knew Mrs. Krause, I knew Mr. Krause, they knew who I was, and they knew kind of what I was about. So it wasn't like some random dude coming in. What's this guy about? And then obviously the relationship with Aaron and Adrian, and obviously I asked for Aaron's blessing and everything like that, just so it wasn't.
Did he make you put on the pads?
And that was that. I had my daughter in 2008, and I was working at IBM at the time. I was also doing music pretty heavy at that time too. I was producing and engineering at that time. And once I had my daughter and I saw her, I was like, I don't want to be anywhere else but around my daughter and doing for my daughter. Like to this day, I think she's like the greatest thing on the planet. I think
Of
she's
course, of course. Listen, for the fathers out there, y'all know this feeling when listen. We love our boys. I have two of them, but let me tell you something. Nothing made me want to be a man more than when I had my daughter.
yeah,
Because if you think about it, your daughter's first love is the father. Uh, I mean, this may be my conservative values peeking in, but listen, that's who's going to teach your daughter how she's supposed to be treated, how she's supposed to be respected, and how a man is supposed to handle himself and behave in certain situations. So think about it. If you have a daughter and you're wild out here and you're doing all this crazy stuff, guess what she's going to think? That's normal.
right.
And then when she bring that type of energy around you with and another dude, you're going to be like, what? And you be like, no, that's you, player. You did that.
Right. Exactly. And I remember, her being very young and just being like, I need to do more. I need to kind of figure it out. You know, we all have these, we all these arbitrary timelines that we place on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be a millionaire by this time. I'm gonna do this by this time. And is it all that just kind of just fell away. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to the club anymore. I'm not doing this or whatnot. I got to figure out how to get the rest of my stuff in order because she needs me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even I remember the first moment that, you know how they recognize your voice when you talk to them when they're in their mother's stomach. And first time she opened her eyes and she woke up, after she was born or whatnot, just staring right at me. And I was like, this is surreal. Like, it's one of the,
I helped that. Like, this is me.
Yeah. Like she didn't ask to be brought here. This is on me. Now I gotta do what I gotta do. And again, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Every day wasn't the greatest day. I had to take a couple steps back to take a couple steps forward, but you just keep moving, do your best you can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I always made sure that was another main reason why I got my indoor air quality certification. When she was very younger, just like a lot of babies, they had a nebulizer and all these different things. And like, I'm going
asbestos, all types of stuff going on inside people's homes. Yeah.
And I'm like asking the doctors, I'm like, okay, you keep giving me pills and things to give her, but it's like, I don't want to feed my child 50,000 different medications. I was like, what could be done? And then I realized a lot of the doctors couldn't have that conversation. They could see what was wrong and then kind of give me something to mask it and or hopefully fix it. So then I started doing my own research and I had her off that nebulizer in like 3 to 4 weeks, as opposed to, and it was a lot of indoor things. And so, for example, you might have crazy allergies and then you go home, take a pill and put your face in the pillow and your face is now directly breathing in
all the allergens and everything all the allergens that's pissing you off. Yeah.
Mostly dust mites inside of people's homes. If you don't know, it's mostly dust mites. But it's like, okay, let's get some hyperallergenic pillows. Let's get some sheet covers. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's get these carpets up out of here. Take these plushy pillows, do all the physical things. And now you can rest when you're trying to rest instead of your body trying to fight through things while being masked with the medication. And then I find myself educating doctors. And then from then I'm like, well, I can make pretty good money with this, but I can help people. Everything always comes back to like, whatever I'm doing, if it can benefit me, great. Like I need to be doing something that I can make sure I can pay my bills and got, take care of what I got to take care of, put some stuff away. But if I feel a purpose of what I'm doing that can help improve somebody, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
So, that was that, as far as how I kind of got into that. And then from then the kid has just been taking leaps and bounds every year. She's accomplishing things that I would never have even put on her as an expectation, because she kind of is, like I said, she's her own storm, So I think it's going to be worse on me when she leaves for school. I was dropping her off the other day, and I was like, I remember walking you into kindergarten.
Oh boy!
And it said, "Welcome class of 2026," and I was like, it's never going to be 2026, and yet here we are. And then I was dropping her off yesterday at school, and I was like, I only have like 4 more drop-offs left.
That's it, player. That's it. And you know what? I forgot y'all are in school later in the north. Like my kid's been out since May.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you enjoy those last 4 drop-offs, man, because these are the times you're gonna go back to. Because let me tell you something. We did it. Like, when you go to college, you move out, you're like, parents, hey, just make sure the tuition's paid. I'll holler at you later. So, because they're gonna get new friends, new experiences, and you're gonna be like, I used to tell myself sometimes, I used to be like, he would call me, right? He's a freshman in college. He would call me, and I'd be like, what do you want? And he'll be like, why are you saying that? I'm just calling to check on you, blah, blah. Then after 5 minutes, can you send me some money for some DoorDash? Exactly. Let's not waste the pleasantries. I know what you want. You only call me when you want something. Don't be, Dad, how you doing? You know how I'm doing. So cut the crap. Just tell me what you want.
Right. I said something similar to the other day because right before she's going down, she's playing football. She's gonna be playing flag football at Marymount. Which is awesome. They're one of the top teams in the country. She's also on the Puerto Rican national team too. We just got back from Panama a couple of weeks ago, and she's like one of the youngest on that team. Straight A student, president of this and that and the third. Like I said, I was like, you're doing stuff that I wouldn't have tried to put on you to do, but you're doing it because that's your speed or whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always told her, try as hard as you can. If you don't get there, at least you're going to be somewhere up there because you put forth the effort or whatnot. There's and the majority of things that you want to do, there's nothing in your way besides your effort. So, it came right around to the time where she had to do her final commitment day stuff or whatnot, because we got to do pictures and all that kind of stuff for the football team and all that. And she's like, oh, well, I'm starting to feel a little nervous. Maybe I should go to Rowan, or maybe I should go XYZ. Mind you, Marymount's only in Washington, like right across the bridge from Washington. So it's only 3 hours or whatnot. But I was like, it's perfectly natural for you to have these feelings now because you're your first time really leaving home. I guarantee you might be a little homesick for the first couple of weeks, but 5, 6, 7 weeks in, I'm going to be having to call you to be like, hey, remember you got you got parents once you start, getting settled in. Yeah. You
start making up excuses to call, like, oh man, I thought I saw you call me. What you doing? Like, Dad, get out of here. Like, like what do you want? I just want to hear your voice,
Right. I told her, I was like, you know what? You're only 3 hours away. This is mostly highway. I was like, if I leave at 6 a.m., I can be down there for like 9 o'clock.
Like, Dad, please. Like, relax. relax. But we'll never relax when it comes to our baby girls. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
So TJ, let's do this. Let's go back a little bit. So we're gonna do a little bit of a rapid fire thing, and let's go back to 2000. What did people misunderstand about you in high school?
My nationality.
Yes, thank you. I didn't want to bring it up. I thought you was a brother when I first met you. Then you was like, no, it's Tomas. Thomas? No, Tomas. Please go. Please talk.
Right. I am African American and Puerto Rican. Which
all right,
makes me Puerto Rican.
We but call like, that.
My wife said that she was like, I do remember seeing you in school one time again, like on some. I must have been a freshman or whatever. Sophomore, and she was like, and I was thinking, what is that?
What are you? Like, I want to call you a really bad name, but I need to know what you are, so I won't be like stupid. Like, what are you?
Right. That's probably the biggest mix up or whatnot. He's like, oh, he's really nice. He plays sports. He was like, oh, what is he?
First of all, now this may be me showing my slight bigotry, but I just didn't know any Puerto Ricans that play football. Basketball, yes. Soccer, yes. Football, no. I didn't. I thought it was just the brothers and big country fed white people.
Right.
So when I see this Puerto Rican want to play running back, cornerback, and all this, I'm like, brother, where's your soccer ball? Like, what are you doing?
I'm also one of the only Puerto Ricans that don't play baseball.
See, so you probably get looked at weird at the table. They be like baseball, Yankees playing good, and you're like, who?
I just started playing slow pitch softball a couple years
Oh,
ago.
that's slow pitch foot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you wait till you pass your prime, and now you want to play baseball.
Yeah. I caught it just in time. That's enough. That's enough of that for me.
Bring the keg out. You got some Gatorade in there, some waters. Like, come on, TJ. Wait. And you know what's funny? It's the opposite. People are picking you because they're like, he's Puerto Rican. He got to be good at baseball. And then you get up to the plate, and they're like, brother, like, did I make a mistake? Did I make an assumption? Like, what's going on?
So here's how that started, right? So some of my younger players like, hey, let's expand out into another sport. I'm like, cool, or whatever. And again, I'm just coming from a coach, so I'm like, all right, I'll set it up, or whatnot. We'll get some jerseys together. We'll meet you guys out there. We get out to the field for the game, and I'm looking around. I'm like, these dudes my age. I was like, I might be a little out of shape, but I'm in way better shape than this dude over here. So I started playing, and again, that's when I got heavy at that point. That's right. I was like, took to 265.
You got to be thick when you play slow pitch softball. You got to be thick.
So like, I ended up being like, oh, you know what? I could actually train for something. So when I first started, I don't know how to hold a bat. I don't know how to. I've never done it before. Like, I can tell you everything about football and basketball and track and all the stuff I'm experienced with, but that's when I actually kind of dug in a couple of years ago, and I was like, you know what? I can train for something now. And like, I actually used softball as my carrot to train to lose the weight. Cause like now I don't just want to go in there to lose weight. I want to go in there to get in shape so I can go out here and put on. And I went from looking like a ballerina spinning around, missing the ball, to hitting bombs every game.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Certified. I got tape. It's on film. But again, that's like, it was really cool about that was like actually being able to learn a new sport as an athlete with a coach's head. So it was like I was able to kind of tailor myself and then also be open-minded to listen to the younger players who had 10 years experience and the people that were my age who have been doing it. And then, the athletic part of it is it's a lot more intense than you would think, especially if you're playing the infield. I mean, like probably the easiest thing to describe it is it's softball until somebody hits the ball. Then it's baseball. Because I know I got like a 90, 95 mile an hour velocity off the bat when I hit it. And I'm like, I'm good, but I'm not like some of these dudes is.
That's all they do.
Woof.
That's all they do. They live for softball. Like, trust me, I've been an umpire in the softball league at the YMCA, and I've played in softball leagues in the military. Literally, like, you talking about soldiers who kill people on their day off, and they're like, hey, so we playing softball?
Right.
Like, you literally just put a bayonet in somebody's neck. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're playing softball. Because
that's the social part of it. Drink a couple beers.
I don't know what it is, but they take it seriously, man. I still got my jersey from a t-shirt from when I was in Korea and I played on my divisional softball team. I still have it. I just been able to get back in it. Matter of fact, it's too big. So that just shows you how life hits you hard. So trust me, I know about the softball. So let's go with this one. Did you become who you thought you become?
I would say yes. I didn't really. I just wanted to be a good person. I wanted to raise a good family and be stable and do some cool things and build things. And that's I'm right smack in the middle of doing that. Like I said, there was I had a bunch of arbitrary goals and financial goals and things of that nature. But those things change. Like, what makes you happy changes as you get older and your priorities get to where it is. So right now, bro, honestly, everybody's healthy, lights are on, food's in the refrigerator. I got Xbox Game Pass. I can play any game I want.
That's what I'm talking about. We grown now. We ain't got to go to bed. Turn that game off. Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My daughter's doing well. I have an awesome wife who's an awesome mother and, takes care of the home and, does the white things that keep me in line. You know what I'm saying? She does the role well. Awesome.
Keep us from running ourselves over with our own car. Like just crazy stuff. You'd be amazed what a good woman will prevent a man from doing. Like, right. I want to skydive. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
You don't never let me do nothing.
I tried to buy my daughter new cleats the other day. right? I'm thinking I did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to just paying for it. She makes sure she dots all the I's and crosses the T's. You
It's
know,
just
so
the
I
little
always say,
things.
like, I'm macro, she's micro. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go and blaze through, and I'll build you an entire building. She's gonna check the permits.
Yeah. She gonna be like, okay, but before you start building, can you do that? I
Yeah,
didn't really check. I just want to build.
yeah.
Because that's important.
She makes sure all the important things are done from that angle, and I'll put the building on my back and take it to the sky. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's a blessing to have a partner like that, because while our skill sets can clash at times, just like any married couples, kind of skill sets, when I was able to take a step back and look at what she does well and what I do well, even though we don't always
That's
have this
it.
approach, it makes everything make sense.
That is it. Because listen, I have strengths, I have weaknesses. My wife has strengths, she has weaknesses, and when you figure that out and you leave ego out the door, it marriage is so much better, because you're like, okay, I know you're good at this, baby. Do what you do. You know what I'm good at. I'm gonna do what I do, and it just makes it so much better. So let's do the time capsule, and it's kind of a rapid fire. What was your favorite song back in 2000?
Probably on my mixtape is probably something off of the Rough Riders album at that point. Because it had to be. I don't know how many basketball games we did. Stop, drop.
Yeah.
I know what up, shot. It was somewhere between DMX, Wu-Tang, and the Rough Riders at that point in time.
Because it took us out of the shiny suit era. Remember, in the late 90s, it was Puffy and dancing. Then Get At 'Em Dog came out. We was like, wait a minute, whoa.
Right.
Why is this brother growling at me? Like, what is happening? Like, what is happening?
That's our MOP. Yeah, my pregame.
Everything was angry again. It felt good, didn't it? Like, I can't relate. I definitely can't relate to Puffy now, but back then I can't relate to Puffy. Like, what are you talking about? You brush your teeth with Cristal.
Right.
I brush my teeth with tap water.
Right.
And Colgate toothpaste. Like, I can't relate to that, but I can relate to DMX saying stop something, or snitches get stitch. We can relate to that. So that
that young energy talking about Annie up. You know,
Annie up. Like, yo, you got what, and you're an athlete. If you second string or third string, the person in front of you, like, Annie up that spot. That's my spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's go. So let's do. What was your favorite trend in 2000?
2000, probably. I was digging like the sweater vest back then.
You did wear sweater vests. That's when I found out you was absolutely Puerto Rican. Because no black man besides Bill Cosby is wearing a sweater vest. I that's what I was like. Nah, he mixed. He ain't full brother.
But I had the full complement. I had the Tommy joint. We all had the Nautica jump.
You used to wear them damn sweater vests with jeans. I used to be like, what is happening? Like, is it business up top, thug down the bottom? Like, what are we doing? Yeah.
You gotta keep it balanced.
That was a trend. Okay, who was your favorite teacher in 2000?
Oh my goodness.
I know mine. He's no longer here anymore.
I'm trying to remember who my teachers were in 2000. Geez, I think my favorite teacher in the school was Mrs. Sachs. Outside of my coaches, like Coach Stewart and all of them, obviously, because they always looked me out and all that kind of stuff, and they were just really great people. But Mrs. Sachs was probably one of the ones that because she was a social studies teacher and kind of like really taught us in a way that Mr. Anagbo as well. That kind of taught us.
Mr. Anagbo.
I saw him like not that long ago, looking the exact same.
Well, that's them African genetics. They don't age. They just get younger.
I was like, that's Mr. Anagbo. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, not even like, he kind of looks like Mr.
You be
Anagbo.
like, Prince, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Prince, hold your class. Stop cursing. Why do you curse so much, Prince? Why?
Because I always done like those thought-provoking teachers that, like, they know how to teach you, not necessarily treat you as a child or not as an adult, but to give you thought-provoking things to help you grow in your head about certain concepts, you know. But you know, those probably
Most
my
random
favorite
thought
ones.
ever. TJ, do you remember our sex education teacher? He was short and he was on the wrestling team.
Oh yeah,
He was
Mr.
a virgin. He was
What
a
is it?
virgin. So I was like, how are you teaching us sex education? Hey, I can teach you. What do you need to know? I forgot his name. But remember, he ended up marrying a teacher and then coming back to school. And I remember that first day back, I was like,
Right.
welcome to the
Married
club.
my Spanish
He was
teacher.
like, you know what, Mr. Blue? We're not going to do that. That's inappropriate my ass. Like, brother, you was in here teaching us about the women and you ain't never been with one.
Right, you straight out of book.
I don't know why I remember. Yeah, he'd be like, turn to page 6. No, you turn to page 6. Now tell me what you see. I remember, oh man. Cause I remember, and see, this is the stuff that come up. I remember when we had it was a Spirit Week, the pep rally, and we were throwing water balloons. And remember the bleachers was high up. Remember, they could go really high up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he climbed the back of the fence. And then he was standing in the back of me when I was about to throw one. He was like, Mr. Blue. I was like, first of all, how'd you get up it? Did you climb that fence? Only a person that has pent up sexual energy will climb a tall chain link fence.
Right.
And it was like, what are we doing here? But yeah,
nothing was ever that serious.
it was to him. It was to him until he got some. Then he mellowed out. Okay. What was your biggest fashion regret?
Oh boy. Now you want me to say sweater vest because the way you reacted to it. No. Oh man. I'm trying to think. It was probably something earlier in high school, out the shiny suit era, when they had I had some kind of like big puffy jumpsuit type of mesh thing, and I wore it like one time. And I was like, nah.
Because I remember we was like, yo,
Thinking I might
you can't wear that shit no more.
nah,
You look like Michael Myers. You look like a Puerto Rican Michael Myers. Like, why are you wearing a bruh? Like, oh my god.
I remember one time, I want to say it must have been like freshman year. I just got some new Timbs, and I saw these black Timbs that I wanted. And then I think at that point in time, people were taking like shoe polish to their old Timbs and like converting them over. So I did that, and it was like black, and I had like this. I put this red on the bottom. I was like, oh, this kind of fresh. Man, I wore that joint outside. That whole shit melted down.
It's fresh. That's like the people that get Beijing. That's like the people that get Beijing and then they hit the sun and they look like
Beijing Timbs.
Melted shoe.
I was like, nah, I'm not that good. I'm gonna leave that to the artist. I'm just wearing these butters.
That is crazy. So, all right, man. So, we got what we need. Tell everybody, what you got working on. You know, this is your time to promote your business, your groups, any games you about to coach, whatever. The floor is yours, sir.
All right. So yeah, actively right now, the program I'm running is the Ewing Forest High School Girls Flag Football Team organization. So it was designed primarily for young women like my daughter in mind, where flag football is growing. There's so many opportunities from the Olympics that are coming to college scholarships and opportunities. So we decided to build an organization here in the area that could be a satellite for young women that don't have it at their schools. Or whatnot. I was approached by Ewing Recreation, and they pretty much gave me the keys to get some things done. So they revamped Moody Park's football field for us. So we have the only dedicated 7v7 high school girls field in the area. And I'm actively working on helping them get up and running and starting getting scholarships, basically doing the same type of path work that we did for my daughter or whatnot, because she went from relatively being unknown to being able to try out for Team USA, to being the MVP of the talent ID camp, all these different things. Now, mind you, my daughter's a little different because I've been coaching football for years, and that was one of our things. She's always been around me doing that. And this is through her dancing, through her playing lacrosse, basketball, all that type of stuff. So we've always found like a common ground with that. But that's the main program we're expanding now. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I have my safe fence business, which is continually growing. I'm actually about to hire some people and expand out so they can do a little more of the work and I can do more of the counting at this point in time. And I also got my insurance business up and running, and I have some other. I'm working on my daughter's like NIL type stuff, as well as athletic line of gear and type of stuff that we're working on to get her set up and straight moving forward. So as per usual.
Now that's the Puerto Rican side of you. 18 million jobs. Hustle.
Right.
Now, that's your Puerto Rican heritage right there. All them damn jobs, all them titles, and you're doing them all well, and you ain't complaining. I like it.
Yeah, it's my joy to build, bro. It's my joy to build. I've always been taught to live right between these two concepts of ancient knowledge, right? It's like, don't have all your eggs in one basket, but don't have too many irons in the fire. And somewhere in between, if you're managing your time, and like when you think about it, you'll sit down and be like, I don't have time for that. And it's like, well, what were you doing for the last 4 hours? Watching TV? Well, you have 4 hours. You at least had an hour out of that 4, and you don't have to do the whole thing in one time. So you can do a little bit at a time and keep a couple of things moving. You just got to not put it down for a long time and forget about it, And the same thing I've always, I'm sure you're the same way with the children. It's like, I told my daughter, it's like, okay, you're not going to do this. What are you doing? You're not just coming home after school to hang out and do nothing. You're going to do something. I don't care if it's a club or you guys are knitting or whatever. There's something.
We're not going to sit on the phone and the computer all day unless you're building something on the computer or the phone, or you're doing content, but we're not just going to sit home and just waste potential. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to chill later. The chilling feels better when you have things under your belt that you've accomplished.
Or you could pay your damn bills.
That part.
All right, TJ, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Again, the first class of 2000 that came on, that had the guts to come on. I appreciate you, my man. And to everybody else, please, this yearbook series is actually popping. I got about 8 people on the calendar. Nice. The next episode is going to be Jen Scapiak. You remember Jen Scapiak?
Yeah.
Jen Scapiak is coming on. I'm gonna have her. I call her Hallmark because her family just looks like it's like a Hallmark movie where like the people, like their bad day is like the car breaking down. Like it's just perfect. So I'm gonna talk to her. She got some interesting things going on in the sports field as well. So be prepared for that episode. That episode is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Lord willing. And we'll get that. But TJ, I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you so much coming on, and think about it. I'm telling you, man, this man, he a legend. Like he did it. Like he did it. Like y'all don't understand. He did it. So he know what I'm talking about. He did it. It's like,
I appreciate you, bro. And I'm super proud of you doing all your things, man. Super proud of you, bro.
I appreciate that, man. So everybody, we'll see y'all mañana. See, I know a little something. See y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m. with Jen Scapiak. I am out. Peace.
Real time.